All right, so this is just going to be a very quick training on a very simple binary option strategy that I believe even beginners can come in and take advantage of. So we'll be getting right into it now. Just 1 second. Where is my chart? Okay, excellent. I've seen it. So the first thing to do in this strategy, by the way, because of I'm expecting beginners to see this video, I'm going to define some very simple terms, okay? And I'm just going to break it down in a way that it ought to be easy to understand. So generally speaking, first thing to define is support. So a support is an area where you notice that price has bounced off of in the upwards direction several times, okay? So for example, you can look at this area right here. Right here, you can see that this place, let me try and put a box on it. Give me 1 second, sorry. So you can see this area now is a bit of a support, right? Because you can see that price came here, bounced off, went off, came back a bit, bounced off, not so much, broke it a little bit, but then, you know, bounced off again, came up, bounced off. So that area is called a support. You can see it as the floor. Assume you're in a room and you can see it as a floor supporting someone standing, okay? And then the next thing we're going to define is resistance. Resistance is kind of like the ceiling in our analogy where you notice that price comes, bounces off, price comes, bounces off. So for example, this point now could be seen as a bit of a resistance. Price didn't quite get here and get here, but you can see that this zone, right, rejects price in the downwards position. Let me try and get a better example of a resistance for you guys. Let's see. Excellent. So you can see over here, right, the price came to this point multiple times. Sorry, let me fix this real quick. All right, so price came here multiple times, came here, bounced off, came here, bounced off, came here again, bounced off, came here, bounced off, came here, bounced off like 5 times. So clearly that place is a resistance for price. So price is bouncing off of it in the downwards direction. Okay, there's a reason why I'm going through this. Now, even though these are like, you know, supports and resistances on the bigger level, you can see it straight away on the whole chart. For binary options, we're gonna be looking at mini supports, like supports amongst just some candles, okay? In some instances, it's gonna be just amongst a few candles. In some instances, it's gonna be very obvious, like this one's here and this one's here. In some other instances, it might not be as obvious as these ones here, okay? Here's what I mean. By the way, we're on the 15-minute time frame for anybody that wants to see. This strategy, our markups are based on the 15-minute time frame. The expiration of our trades is going to be 4 minutes. So 4 minutes expiration, 15 minutes time frame. All right. And it's a basic strategy based on something called, you know, price action. Some of you might have noticed it, and it's just based on how price moves. For example, you would see, let me pick something here. Yeah. This is typically how price would move. If price is moving in the upwards direction, price would go something like this, right? Go up a bit, make what we call a high, right? I'll make another video explaining further on highs and lows. So make what we call a high, it's gone up, then it comes and rejects that price, comes downwards a bit, then it makes another, a higher high than in the past one. This is what happens in an uptrend. It makes a higher high than the last high, okay? And then also makes a lower low, right, than the past one. All right, so this isn't so perfect, but I think it will do for now. Or let me just use another example. Yeah, let me just do this here. All right. I think this will be perfect. Okay. So now look at this example here. So this is price moving. It goes up, comes down a bit, goes up, comes down a bit, goes up, comes down a bit. Now in the movement of price, notice that price retraces. It doesn't just keep going straight. It pulls back at some point. And the point where it pulls back is a resistance, okay? Is a resistance because price got here and strongly rejected off of that way. It just rejected it down. It acted like it's ceiling. Now, I want you to notice something, right? In this example I just showed you now, when price eventually breaks, so this strategy is based off of break and retest on the 15-minute time frame. So when price breaks this resistance, at some point it retests it, and once it retests it, it goes back up, right? If you notice the point of retesting it, this point right here coincides with the former resistance. I'm going to do an example for a downtrend as well. So let's say price is going down, right? Then it pulls back up a bit and then goes down some more, pulls back up a bit, okay, and then goes down some more. Now, I want you guys to notice something here in what I just drew, right? Same thing again, price makes a low. Now, this point where it goes off is a support, so it bounces off of it and goes upwards. And then eventually, let me draw another line. This support here, which was acting as the floor that price was standing on, it breaks it. And when it breaks it, it comes back up to retest that previous support. But then it now continues in its downwards trend. All right. So this is the strategy, basically. We're going to go on to the charts now so we can show you guys live. So essentially, whenever price breaks a previous support in a downtrend, right, we just wait for the retest at that level. And when we're looking at the retest, what we're taking is the body of the candle, not the wicks. Everybody knows, or let's say, in case you're new to trade, you may not know this, but candles are made up of bodies, right? This, the main body, this, for what we use as an example now. Let's take this candle for an example, right? This is the main body. Then the thin part is the wick or the shadow, depending on what you want to call it. And in a downward trend now, right, you can see that price does this thing where it comes down, traces back up, and then comes down again. Now we are now waiting for it, according to this strategy, where it breaks its support, to take it when it comes back there for a sell, right? So here are the steps to this strategy. Number one, check your news, right? This is so underrated, but super important. I've seen instances where a trade that would have clearly been, cleared, or a trade that you would have clearly won, right, would have been affected by news. So typically, if I see a news update within an hour of the pair I'm trading, if that pair has news, or a currency in that pair has news, I wouldn't touch it, right? Within an hour, that's an hour before, an hour after. How did I get that? It's just my own thing. It's just how I like to trade it, okay? So I come here, for example, now, if I'm opening the charts and I'm opening the charts around, say, let's say 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Even though there's news, I look for the news, right? Nearest news is, okay, there's news by 9:30. Now, this is an orange folder. Typically, I wouldn't trade orange folders, right? Only trade when the folders or the currency doesn't have any folder, or it is a clearly yellow folder. Orange and red, I don't trade them. Why? I just don't like losing money unnecessarily, right? So if I was to come on the charts now, say around 7 a.m., I would trade euro. I would trade any other pair that does not have news. Essentially, if you see red folders, avoid currency pairs that have that particular currency that have that red folder around the time when you see that red folder, okay? So that's number one, check the news. Number two step is to identify the trend on the 15-minute time frame. Let me try and do something here. So number one is to check news. Number two is to identify trend, then identify trend on 15 minutes time frame. I'm using 15 minutes because that's where I notice it's more accurate with this, okay? Some use the 5-minute, but I notice it's not as good as, you know, as this. So identify trend on the 15 minutes time frame. Number three is to look for areas where support or resistance is broken. Then number four is to wait for retest of that area. Then number five, enter for a 4-minute buy or sell. It's literally that simple, guys. That's why it's the simple HFX for it. Or simple binary options for it. Strategy, sorry, not forex. It's a very simple binary option strategy. Okay. So you can see this. I have this on here. You can read it, you can take a screenshot, but yeah, that's essentially that. So for this example now, I hope you've taken a screenshot of this because I'm going to move this so we can look at our chart. So I'm going to maximize this now, okay? Now, when I'm looking for supports and resistances, there are major supports and resistances like here, right? Like when I say like here, let me draw it out so you guys can see like here. It's a bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. So you can see it's a major one. Cool. There's also a major, say, resistance over here, like more obvious ones. But when it comes to binary option trading, remember this is a 15-minute time frame. I mean, each candle is powerful by itself. By the way, you can ignore this was probably news at some point whenever you see massive movements like this. So we're just gonna ignore that and go back. So you're not always looking for like major supports and resistances. Personally, I'll look for where within some candles, right, price found it difficult to break that area. For example, look at this point now. Price makes a low, but once it hit this price, look at this long wick, right? And there doesn't even necessarily need to be, you know, a strong wick. It's cool if it's there, but even if it's not there, all you need to see is that price strongly rejected that area. So I'm looking at this. This was going down and then came here and stayed up for a while. Now, I'm taking this as a support. Why? Because you can see this candle, this is a whole 15, don't forget we're on the 15-minute time frame. This is not a 1-minute chart. This whole 15-minute, you know, time frame, it couldn't break past, and I usually take the bodies of the candle. It couldn't break past this. The next candle couldn't break past it. The next one couldn't go past it. Even the red candle that showed up couldn't go lower than this point right here. So I'm just going to mark this down. Right? I'm just going to mark this. Let's assume that this, and we're just going to look at just random examples so you can see that this actually works. So, yeah, so you see it kept rejecting. At some point, it broke. Look at this candle right here. This one here. Let me see. I just want to point it out real quick for you guys. This one right here broke. You can see this, yes? It broke that support. However, immediately it went back up, right? It went back up. So it still hasn't properly broken there. So you just keep waiting. But look at this candle. This candle properly broke this. It properly broke it. It probably broke it, and immediately you see it tested and then rejected. It would have cleared this trade here, but I'm just going to say typically I wouldn't take this one here because it is so close, you know, to an extent to the entry, right? I like seeing it move further away. Now this is where I would like to test it. This is my entry. And now it has moved further away. Why I wait for it to move further away is that it protects you from fake outs, what we call fake outs, where it looks like price is breaking an area, but in reality, it's not really breaking it, okay? So I waited for it that moved away. This is where, and then I noticed price has started coming back up. Cool. This is now where I wait, right? And clearly you can see that price got there and rejected. It's even rejected more than once. Let's just put a box on this and then show you guys. Let's take it to the 5 minute time frame so that you can see we would have cleared this if we took a 4 minute trade. Okay, let's take this 5 minute time frame now. Cool. Cool. So this is where price got to it. Yeah, you see, it touched, once it touched this, strongly shut down. Price touched this, strongly shut down. Right? We would have cleared this. We would have so cleared this really, really good. Let's look for another example. I'm just looking at, let's just look at random. I'm not even, I didn't even go to check this back, but I hopped on this call just to show you guys that this really, really, really works. So let's look for something that has a clear, what's it called now? A clear trend. Let's see. Cool. Very, very cool. Let's see. Where we are. Let's look for a good example. So this is a clear, I believe this is a, yeah, this is a clear uptrend, right? You can see it's currently trending. Remember, it's binaries. I'm not looking at the overall, whether it's been, in an uptrend for a long time. I'm just looking at the last 24 to 48 hours. What's the trend been like? So it's been an uptrend. How do I know it's an uptrend? Well, it's one of those things you learn, subsequently if you haven't learned it already, because I'm seeing it's pushing up, coming down. It's pushing up and coming down, pushing up, coming down. So let's take, this looks like a good example. Let us see. We'll take it more than one. So you can see clearly here, right? Look at this price hit it and then it started shooting down. So this is a clear resistance. What are we waiting for? Waiting for price to break this resistance, this high right here. Let's wait for price to break it. So price breaks it. Price breaks it, right? Remember 4 minute trade. Look at the wick on this, strong rejection. Price breaks it, and when it breaks, there's a clear distance between the entry and like this point here. So you just start waiting for the retest, and it's clearly retested. If we took this now, right, later on I can hop on. I think let's just draw some boxes first. So I'll show you guys even on the 5 minute time frame that would have cleared this trade, right? We would have cleared this. Now price continues high up, right? It continues high. Now, this point where it even retested is a form of a low in quote, right? Because you see that it rejected here, second candle couldn't break it, third candle couldn't break it, even this upward candle couldn't break it. Now wait for where it breaks. Okay, now it's broken. It's broken this, a bit of a distance. This one is kind of in between. It's not too far, it's not too close. But if you want to check it, you can take it. It came, broke, retested, and what did it do? It shot back up. Okay. So this is essentially it. Okay. This is literally. Let's look at one more here. Let's see if we can get any more on this upward space. Now look at this one now. See, this was a fake out. This is why I tell you guys we don't take it when it's too close. For example, this right here, this that you're seeing right here is a fake out, right? So after the first candle, try and wait for other candles that like keep going in that direction before you take it. Because if you took this retest here, you would have likely lost this because it's a fake out. It's not an actual continuation of the upward trend. So the real resistance here is this one here that I drew. Let me change the color so you guys can see. It's some more. Let me make it orange. Yeah. So the real one is this one that it came rejected. This was the true resistance here. This here is an actual fake out. It's a fake out. So when you notice price breaking, don't just wait for it to retest immediately. Wait to see another candle, right? Another candle, essentially. Just wait to see another candle. If that next candle immediately just goes straight down back, below the entry, it's a fake out, not a continuation. If the next candle was like maybe a smaller red candle, and then an upwards candle, and then a smaller red candle, then I'd know, okay, price is making its way back to retest. But if it just goes up to break and then comes straight back down, it's a fake out, and it's not valid as an entry, okay? So this would have been the true one here. And then we just wait again for our retest. Look at this. So clear as day, guys. This works. It bounced here and you would have won this trade. Let's go to the 5-minute time frame to check them out. Let's see. Great. So look at this. Where's our first box? Cool. See, it bounced, went up, right? This other one too. It bounced, went up. You have cleared your trades. No sweat. Let's check another pair, just so you guys see that this actually really works. Let's just pick a random pair here again. Which one do I pick? Let's see USDJPY. Hopefully it's been trending. Cool. Okay. And by the way, if at any point in time you see a bit of choppiness, let's say you're not sure, any point in time you're not sure of the trend, you can just let it go. For example, if you entered the market maybe somewhere here, if you came and you saw your chart, you're not sure whether it's going up or going down, right? Even though it still looks like it's in an uptrend, you can just let it go. But let's go to a time where it is clearly an uptrend, right? Which would have been here. So this was a very significant, very significant high. So let's say we take this. No problem with this. Well, let me clear this. I already have some stuff from here from my previous trading, but let's see. So this right here is a, you see it's a resistance, right? So building, finally broke. And then what happened? It came back down to retest, right? If you're taking a 4-minute trade, you would have cleared this. You're taking a 4-minute trade, you would have absolutely cleared it. In fact, let's do another one, because it's not always, I want to show you guys that it's not always that you would need a major resistance like this. For example, in between, and I like this example because you can see that in between, look at this point right here now, this box. This box right here. On its own, you can see that there is a little, there's a little, what will I call it now? The resistance that had to be broken, right? Because remember, these are 15-minute candles. So look at this point. And remember, I take the bodies of the candles, not wicks. Okay. So this, right? This right here, this area right here, I want to extend this because of this previous one here too. I'm looking at this. I like it coinciding with bodies. But anyways, this right here was a bit of a resistance. It rejected, right? Then it finally broke. Typically, I might not trade this because this huge candle, I just like staying away from news, right? If I see a news is a major reason for a break and retest, I might stay away from it. But anyways, I think you'll still see what I'm referring to here, right? When it came down, So good, you'd see it came pretty close. It didn't quite touch, but strongly rejected, right? If you took it at our exact price we are looking for here, this one might have been a loss, but it's okay, right? It's trading, it happens. But you can see it came pretty close. And another thing, guys, sometimes when it comes very close like this to the price that we're looking for and then rejects, I may not take it the second time it's coming. In fact, more often than not, right? I wouldn't take it the second time it's coming because it shows that price is tested. It's tested. It wants to come back there, right? It wants to come. For example, you see this particular resistance here that was tested. It tested, rejected, tested it again, right? Rejected. Assuming somebody was waiting to take it again, it broke it eventually and made its way downwards, okay? So later on, you can see it clearly, after it broke here, you can see it clearly supported it subsequently, right? Market was just marketing over here. So I hope with this, everyone has learned and understood the break and retest strategy, right? Maybe we'll look for, I don't know if you should look for one more. Should we? Should we? Of course we can. Well, let's look for a very clear, and by the way, when you're trading, guys, if you see anything that you're not too sure of, just let it go. Right? I don't even usually bother. If you're not sure, let it go. Right? Just let it go. Definitely. Okay. This would have been a good example, but it doesn't look like price ever, came to this spot. I think at this point, I won't prefer where the resistance will come by just a few candles. So you see, it doesn't have to be a major, right? Just a few. Just a few. For example, you guys can see there's a little bit of one here, right? Where price rejected. See, price rejected. Look at this price now. Price came down here, rejected, came down here, rejected. So this was a solid, in quote, support, but it's just a few candles. When it subsequently broke, remember, we wouldn't have taken this one here because we want to see the next candle, we want to see it move further away or not go back, into our entry price immediately. So this one here, and it's super close to the entry, we won't have taken this. So you wait for that bit of a gap and then just calm down for your retest. And you can see price came here, tested it, and pushed down, right? So this is a simple break and retest strategy. I use it also with another strategy, the Fibonacci retracement strategy, which I'll do in another video, most likely. I just use so that whenever I want to trade, right? If I don't see anything setting up using the Fibonacci strategy, I'll just look out for break and retest like this on the 15 minutes. Remember, 15-minute time frame in the direction of the trend. So for example, if it is a downtrend, I'm not going to be looking for buys, right? I'm looking for sells in a downtrend, right? Notice here, price started trending down a bit. It broke this low here. So it started trending down a bit. So I'm looking for retests and selling, not buying. Okay, so make sure you follow the trend. Make sure you follow the trend. 4 minutes, right? Mark out your entries. It's the body of the candle. It's analysis done on the 15-minute time frame. I wish you guys the very, very best. If you learned anything from this, make sure you subscribe to this for more videos. Make sure you like this video, right? If you need coaching, tutoring, mentorship when it comes to your trading, you want to just get better at learning binary options, you can reach out to me on my Instagram at NUELOKAFOR. I'll also drop it in the what's it called now? The description. Yeah. So that you can reach out to me, let me know, and we can help you get started. All right. So every person, I hope you've learned something amazing. Have a fantastic evening. All day, whenever you're watching this, really.